Hi, these discs represent the Tree of Life, and I'm going to pick them up and give a brief run through of the way that the tree works for me and perhaps what it could mean for you. So we're going to start up the top here, and I'm going to put down Kether. So Kether is the first emanation. I think of it as really the second, just before the Big Bang, not that there were seconds in that moment, or the Great Expansion, I prefer to call it, than the Big Bang. But in spiritual terms, we can think of it as the concept that everything is one, the great all. This is the forever, this is everything that exists, that ever can exist or ever will exist, is held in Kether, including all cats on the planet. So then we come down from Kether to the next emanation, if you like, or the next sephirot, which is Chokmah. So Chokmah, this is what starts to happen in that very kind of second of the Big Bang or the expansion, where things split apart and there's a division happening, basically. And so whereas you can think of Kether as all is one, in Chokmah you can think that there are many and they are all a part of the one. They all come from the one. So this is when Kether splits or divides and Chokmah now exists. And it keeps going and going and going. So this is the third sephirot in the Tree of Life, Binah. And so now we're getting to the place of the rapid expansion, perhaps, where, the universe is dividing and dividing. It's still all one thing forever and always, but it's the division has happened and many, many possibilities are starting to be born in the depths of Binah. And that's the top triad there. And together they hold these three views of the divine, I guess. All is one, Chokmah, which is about separation and union. So I think of it as the lover and the beloved. And then Binah, the many. Everything is sacred. So as we come down the tree, we actually go through this part of the tree called the abyss. I've got a reflective silver disc to represent that. And that separates the top triad from all of the rest of the tree. So in the abyss, which is a vast space, but this particular point in the abyss is called Darth, and it's kind of a non-sephirot. It could be a sephirot, it might become one, maybe it has been in the past, maybe it's a space where a sephirot was and fell out of. Anyway, there it is, sitting there like the inexplicable. So we come down the tree to Hesed. Hesed is the beginning of the lower tree, I guess, and also of the middle triad. So in Hesed, there's a great outpouring, a great outflowing. If you're thinking in universal terms, you could think of all of the stars being born and dying and beginning and that ever flowing outwards and onwards of the universe. When we're thinking of it in soul or spiritual or personal terms, we think of it as love and overflowing endless love and compassion as well. So it's got a pair across the tree, which is its exact opposite and perfect balance, Gevurah. And Gevurah is the full stop. So Gevurah is when the star explodes or when the planet dies or when things come to an end. So it might be a human life, it might be a relationship, it might be some other event or thing, but the ending and completion. And they can't exist without each other, these two. I'm just trying to get them both in the shot. Hesed and Gevurah, they balance and complement each other endlessly. Between them and below them, we have Tiferet, which is often thought of as the heart of the tree. It is the center of the tree, but it's also the heart in some other ways because it brings together or it balances this kind of ever outward flowing and this ever full stopping completion. So Tiferet, you can see how I've drawn it. It's got all these different paths to all of the different sections of the tree. And this heart or beauty, it's also thought of as being directly connected to Kether through Darth, admittedly, but a very direct connection to Kether. Sometimes it's thought of as the Kether in the lower tree, like the reminder that we have that everything is divine and all is one, is the beauty, is the love that we experience or can experience in our world and our lives. So flowing on from there, we get Netzach. So we're coming down now. That was the middle triad, that blue, red, yellow is the middle triad of Hesed, Gevurah, Tiferet. We're coming now down into the bottom triad with Netzach, this green disc here. And this is a continuation of that ever outgoing flow from Hesed. And it's where particularities start to happen, like all of the possibilities, all of the snakes or ferns or gum trees or stars or atoms that there are, like this endless kind of outflowing creation of possibility, potential, variation. And it just keeps going and going and going. A bit like how Hesed keeps going and going and going. And its balance on the other pillar, the left-hand pillar, is Hod, which is like a place of categories where things are finite. So yes, there's endless numbers of gum trees, but one particular type, say the silver princess, every silver princess gum tree is exactly the same or recognizable to every other one. So I think of Hod as like the place of libraries and systems and categories, whereas Netzach is this endless free-flowing formation of possibility. And between them, to balance them and center them, the bottom of this particular triad, Yesod. Yesod is the sephirot that's closest to our world, to our lives. And I think of it as the dreamscape. Perhaps it's often referenced as the collective unconscious. It's kind of the bridge that we have through to the whole rest of the tree, all of the other possibilities and all of the other ways of understanding the divine, understanding the universe. We, that is human beings, reach through the imaginal realm, the unconscious, the dreaming, the visionary, the artistic, all of those things that are held. You could call it the inner planes. And the very last sephirot, the one at the bottom of the tree, in the roots perhaps, or perhaps the roots are up the top and this is the very tips and of the newest leaves and branches, Malkuth, kingdom. This is where we live and breathe and are born and die. And in the tree of life, every experience, everything we ever have or ever know, our whole entire lives, is basically in Malkuth, in our bodies. And then we have this bridge of, our minds, our imagining, our felt sensations of Yesod that can take us through to all of the other understandings of the tree. So this is the tree of life, a particular version of it created by myself. And if you do this, if you create something like these discs, what you can do then is kind of move into the tree and start experiencing it as an actual space, and move in and out and create magic, ritual, meditation, trance, all of the things. I think the essence of the visual impact of this is really to say that there are 10 different and equal ways of understanding life, the universe, the divine. And it's not about this one's right or this one's right or this one's better than this one. In the Kabbalah, it really is about all 10 of them are realized fully all the time, concurrently. And in that kind of multifold explanation, that's how we can come to understand, the potential of the Kabbalah and what it means. I do have down here, final thing to show and tell. So this is my book, Falling Through the Tree of Life, Embodied Kabbalah. It does include really comprehensive instructions on how to create your own discs, such as this, and also, of course, in-depth essays on each one of these sephirot, as well as many pieces of what I call the technology of the tree, and dozens of processes, rituals, spells, etc. So, yeah, I really hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching.